It's May 2020. It's a warm, sunny day. I become a father for the second and third time. This, if you're curious, is a difficulty spike. The anxiety has been building since that mic drop of a reveal. That number 2 was, in fact, number 2 and 3, for a few months now. With 1, there's still the illusion of independence and freedom. You can still, in part, live your previous life. You're still you, just with something new and fun to talk about. 3 is a different prospect. The maths don't work. We're going to be outnumbered. But on this day, things seem okay. The creeping sense of dread has crept, briefly, away. The voice in my ear has reduced from a scream to a whisper. It might be the unspoken relief of finally getting here, after months of worry, to the event horizon from which there really is no going back. It might be the relief of finally getting here, in the midst of the shared, collective nightmare hallucination that was the COVID-19 pandemic and national lockdown. The relief of knowing that one finish line, at least, is about to be crossed. There may be no going back, the unknown of 3 being multitudes more terrifying than the unknown of 1. But it's still something new, something exciting, the next adventure. On the day, things seem okay. It might be the unspoken relief of finally getting here, or it might just be the weather. It happens, and they are here. They're both beautiful. But this is 2020. There's no time. I'm sent home, the honeymoon over immediately. Have you ever tried raising twins in lockdown during a global pandemic? Me neither. And just because I did it doesn't mean I nailed it. There's no manual or tutorial section for that, and so I find the jump from 1 to 3 pretty hard. You're not my therapist, so we won't go too far down this particular rabbit hole, and we don't need to. An aircraft level summary. For 2 years, it was rough, and I was rubbish. And that's the environment I choose to spend my brief moments of downtime with a game about descending into a dark, uncomfortable, violent, and unknowable world. Smart move. Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Dialogue Tree. This is episode 19. No cost too great. The push and pull of Hollow Knight, and the path to Silksong. No cost too great. No mind to think. No will to break. No voice to cry suffering. Born of God and void, you shall seal the blinding light that plagues their dreams. You are the vessel. You are the Hollow Knight. It's a bit dramatic, but that's podcasting. That's a quote, the quote, from the Pale King, an NPC from Hollow Knight. It's heavy on the lore, on a very specific element of the wider story of the game, but that first line is the one that stuck with me. I like it as a narrative hook for this game, its continued life, and what is coming next. There was a cost in how Team Cherry brought Hollow Knight to the world. You can put numbers on most of it. Development took 5 years, 57,000 Australian dollars of Kickstarter money, 2,158 backers. Supporting it, 2 years, 4 DLC packs, all free, to us. Following it up, 7 years. Finally, there was a cost to me in playing it. About a year, as it happens. It's September 2025. At the time of writing, the sequel to 2017's Hollow Knight, Silksong, is 3 days away from release. It's hard to think of a game from outside of the traditional AAA studio or publisher system that is more universally anticipated than this one. Why it's so highly anticipated is something we'll get to. There's a little story to tell first. A personal, mildly difficult story of my relationship to this game. If Breath of the Wild is the game that brings me back to gaming, that revitalises my interest in the form, it pushes my understanding of it forward, drags me into the present, then Hollow Knight is the one that pushes me away again. I pick up Hollow Knight in, I think, early to mid 2021. I can't say for certain, as much of that time is lost to the blur of my struggle to adapt to actual adulthood. I'm not sure why I pick it up. I think it was purely reputational. That even then, I was aware of how highly regarded it was. What I can say with certainty is that it was my first Metroidvania, or at least the first game I remember playing that I was consciously aware of as being a Metroidvania. Also, the first game I played with what people call Souls-like elements. Strange now, looking back, that I came so late to a genre that is probably now my default setting. Stranger still that, after a few days of play, I kind of hated it. Now this is obviously not the game's fault. Wrong place, wrong time. I had a low tolerance for difficulty. I couldn't comprehend the non-linear structure. And bluntly, it scared me. I had little time for gaming, and being unable to intelligently manage my time, I hated the fact that my brief window for gaming was defined by struggle and failure. Pretty much every enemy has got my number. I struggled all the way to Soul Master before throwing in the towel. I walked away from this game into, fittingly, nothing I can remember. This is the start of a lull that shouldn't have been. The second gaming life kick-started in Hyrule, brought to a halt in the depths of Hallownest. I don't remember playing much of anything for the rest of 2021. I don't remember much of anything from 2021. 2022 rolls around. Life gets a little bit easier. The twin struggles of twins and a lockdown becomes less of a struggle. I noticed that Metroid Dread exists. I try it out, and I like it. I like the gameplay, the structure. Maybe there are other games out there like this. So, I make a list. It's a list of games I want to play during the year. It's modest, something like 10. I don't have high hopes. I still can't see a way that gaming fits into my life. But I make this list and I play the games. I do the same in 2023 and then 2024, adding more games each time. One game persists through each year. Hollow Knight. I finally get around to it. That is, I finally get brave enough to get around to it in February 2024. And this time, I beat it. So, what's different this time? Broadly, unsexily, it's a case of maturity. That sucks to admit to, as I'm of an age where a lack of maturity shouldn't really be a factor, but it is. A couple of years of experience with a variety of games, a couple of years of experience with a variety of children, a couple of years accidentally fostering the slightly more healthy relationship with games that most people already have. And if you like it when people point out the obvious, then I've got a real big hitter for you now. It also helps that Hollow Knight rips. I think it's the Mantis Lords that unlocked everything. Visually, I'm already on board. The dense backgrounds, the hazy foregrounds, the shining, scaly, crunchy dirt mouth, the lush green path, the glowing purple fungal wastes. And then it's down, 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 into the rickety, unwelcoming Mantis village. The spindly mantis creatures dotted around this area are dangerous, and not your usual gross little monsters. They are upright, poised, sophisticated. Getting past them is hard, but fun. I don't know where I'm going, but I make it to the bottom. And to those Mantis Lords. After a few deaths, I do something that I love doing, despite the futility of it. Looking up online to see if I should even be here. I find that the Mantis Lords aren't even a story boss. They're optional. I could back away, backtrack to the Golden Path. But I don't back down. I carry on. I learn their patterns. And I actually enjoy doing so. I win. And I never feel like I can't. I just feel like I can get there. I don't get frustrated or feel like I'm wasting my time. I get there. It's a minor revelation. It's from this point that the game just opens up for me. That I feel like I have some measure of control. That I feel like I'm playing it, rather than struggling to keep up with it. I make it back to the glorious City of Tears, and I get past Soulmaster. And then, Hallownest is mine. Now, the qualities of this game are self-evident and well-known. The visuals are one of a kind. You can broadly describe them as wearing the cloak of dark fantasy, but that doesn't begin to convey the detail or density of them. I love how ornate everything feels. Several structures look like they were built by societies with eyes for the exquisite, delicate visions of steel and glass. Everything a carapace, man-made settings touched with a creeping organic feel. Dirtmouth and the City of Tears are obvious highlights, the environments that broadly define the look of the game. I like the wispy spores that pop off the mushrooms in fungal wastes. I like the glow in Crystal Peak. Christopher Larkin's score is one of the few orchestrated works, that is, something without the abundance of obvious hooks that my smooth brain usually needs, that I love. It perfectly reflects the game. Detailed, multifaceted, always elegant. Now, I too readily push instrumental orchestrated music to the back of my mind when listening, leaning away rather than into it. I find that harder to do with this score. Green Path may be the most well-known and most representative piece of the score, that leading violin leading us deeper, whatever wind instrument that is, evocative of some mysterious wisp, leaping ahead of us, teasing us further. There are an abundance of little melodies in these pieces, again, reflective of the many paths and diversions in this game. It's highly regarded for a reason. Now, I also like this, the piece that soundtracks the one comedy boss in the game, Dung Defender. Mention of comedy is a nice point to pivot to the things that truly set Hollow Knight apart. Its personality, its character, its general vibe. Now, I don't think this can be pinned down to a single aspect. It's a confluence of a number of little touches, little quirks. Most evidently, it's the NPC characters. There are an absolute swathe of these throughout the game. Many of them are oddly friendly and accommodating. Something memorable to hang on to. Their voices are wonderful. Evidence that video game dialogue can exist between gibberish and voiceover and still be charming. I like their eyes. The sad, turned down eyes of the first one you meet, the Elderbug. The kindly half moons of Millibel the Banker. The unsettling, insectoid slits of the Dreamers. The bright, welcoming circles of our friend Cornifer. Indeed, Cornifer, his hum, brings so much life to this game. That hum is as memorable a piece of game design as any jump or dash. The abilities in Hollow Knight are another extension of its character. That inherent impulse it has to treat even the little things with great reverence. Nothing in this game is an afterthought. Every upgrade, spell, and traversal ability are cast with great significance. Where some games give you a double jump or air dash from the start, and there's a lot of people out there who like that sort of thing, Hollow Knight doesn't do that. You have to earn them, again, like you have to do in plenty of other games, but the presentation of them here is weighty. You gain the ability, and you are presented with an overlay detailing what it is, the names of these, and the art that go with them. All of this is a neat interruption underlying the significance. Vengeful Spirit, Desolate Dive, Mothwing Cloak, Monarch Wings, Crystal Heart. All dramatic and evocative, your increasing power emphasised, your ability to explore enhanced. And exploration is at the heart of Hollow Knight. You are drawn in by the promise of currency and the upgrades they allow, the allure enhanced by those inviting environments. Going further is daunting, but feels essential and rewarding. The hidden walls you are subtly directed to, hinting at the rewards for those willing to engage. Exploration feels good. The game makes improving your ability to do so feel good. It's a great loop. The weight that Hollow Knight invests in its world is evident elsewhere, and I think this is the last thing I'll touch on in describing the elements that pull me through the game. The impact of your nail, and the fact that it pushes you back, are key. You are dangerous, but small. You are dangerous, but so is this world. The ugly scythes of wicked black that tear the screen when you take a hit. The way you hunker down and the edges of the screen blur when you use the focus ability to restore your health. The satisfying crunch of the debris strewn around the environment. The tactile impact of a downward strike or pogo jump. The way your mask crumbles on death. And the way your shade explodes when you make your way back to it. This all amounts to a game feel unmatched by Hollow Knight's contemporaries. I understood that it felt good to play at the time, but the extent of this has only come into true focus in the years since, as this first Metroidvania experience has blossomed into something approaching an addiction. There are plenty of great Metroidvanias out there, influenced by this or not, many of which have their own great game feels, but none to quite the extent of Hollow Knight. It's all of this, and more, that make Hollow Knight what it is. It's all of this, and more, that leads it to sell 15 million copies, and persist in gaming discourse for 7 years. It's all of this, and more, that has led to the feverish anticipation for Silksong. So, I looked back at some contemporary reviews to see exactly how this game was interpreted in 2017, to see if there are any clues to the life this game would go on to have. Destructoid cited the tight controls, the challenge, and the wealth of content as highlights, while PC Gamer praised the environmental design. IGN's piece closed with these words, quote, "Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania with a well of content to discover that's as deep as its labyrinthine caves. The world of Hallownest is compelling and rich, full of story that's left for you to discover on your own, and built with branching paths that offer an absurd amount of choice in how you go about discovering it. With such a high density of secrets to find and fun, challenging enemies to face, it's worth spending every moment you can in Hollow Knight." End quote. Most analysis of the game, including my own, touches on the same elements, but as we can see from this small sample, doesn't give much attention to the aspects of Hollow Knight that have generated the most online activity in the years since its release. Hollow Knight lives on not just as a treasure for gamers to discover at their leisure, but as one of the standard-bearer outlets for speed and challenge runners. That's a testament to the wealth and scale of the challenges held within the game, but also to the flexibility that it allows. The YouTuber Fireborn is the most prominent individual in this scene, defeating heavily customised challenges with apparent ease. I've seen the game streamed regularly over the years, for charity, for fun, just because. Hollow Knight lives on not just as a treasure for gamers to discover at their leisure, but as an apparently endless source of lore, of close reading, of metatextual analysis. The Hollow Knight wiki currently has 23,183 pages and 453 articles. Mossbag has over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. There is an absolute wealth of story, backstory, history, prehistory, everything in Hollow Knight. Now I can't pretend to be knowledgeable in this area, but it should be acknowledged. There is a big audience for this aspect of the game. Team Cherry built something of a density that easily withstands this level of scrutiny. Both of these audiences thrive in the long hinterland we have lived through. While some elements of whatever we call the gaming press in 2025 have derided or mocked Team Cherry's radio silence as evidence of developmental stasis, of Silksong being vaporware on a Duke Nukem Forever scale, we now know that to not be the case. Team Cherry have just been ignoring all of that, and spending as long as they want, making the game they want. This revelation, and the persistent growth of Hollow Knight's diverse audiences, suggest that there has never truly been a hinterland. The game has just lived, and just grown. This, the continued depths that Hallownest reveals, are why Silksong is so anticipated. More Hollow Knight, but with over a decade of experience in development. Why wouldn't you be excited? My time with Hollow Knight ended around the 40-hour mark. When I beat the Hollow Knight, a weight was lifted, and my relationship to difficulty in games was changed. In exploring Hallownest, I learned patience. By internalising every boss pattern, I gained a better understanding of difficulty and how it need not necessarily be an obstacle to enjoyment. Every attempt a bit better. Every attempt a bit closer. It's meant to push you. It's meant to test you. And nothing is impossible. Naturally, I need to bring this full circle. Now, I'm an idiot with no helpful insights on capital P parenting, so I really hope this doesn't come across as that. I did not suddenly become a Zen gamer or parent, able to deal with every challenging situation that comes up in either context. I don't learn to accept the difficulties in parenting in Hollow Knight, as that suggests that I can always handle them. I can't. I just learn that they are inevitable, and I can't hide from them. I learn that I'm going to fail over and over, annoy myself and others, but with some effort, some patience, a deep breath, I can get to the other side. The cost of Hollow Knight was great, but the reward's greater. I lost a year, but I gained so much more. In Silksong, we'll be ascending rather than descending, looking up, not down. That feels about right. See you on the other side. Thanks for listening. The music in this episode was all from Christopher Larkin's original soundtrack for Hollow Knight, which you can find on Steam or Bandcamp, which is where I bought it. The artwork for the podcast was produced by Pixel Benny, and you can find the show online at dialoguetree.cc. Talk to you next time.